Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is we're going to react to the Cleveland Cavaliers hiring Kenny Atkinson to be the new head coach of the basketball team. I think every single Cavaliers fan was just scrolling their phone, all of a sudden, boom, breaking news, Woj bomb breaks, and Kenny Atkinson has been hired to be the Cavaliers coach. And in my opinion, I like the hire. I like him as the head coach. There was a couple of other guys that were kind of decided between. James Borrego was the other candidate that was mainly talked about as being probably like the lead candidate. Kenny Atkinson has some good history with some of the players, Jared Allen and Caris LeVert to be exact. The thing I'm worried about with the Kenny Atkinson being hired is a lot of the other head coaches was some of the coaches that Donovan Mitchell, the player that we need to come back and to save our asses, was linked to, that he was possibly linked to being with some of these other coaches that maybe he liked them better. Not really Kenny Atkinson, from what I heard, was one of the names that Donovan Mitchell was liking. So what I want to talk about is a couple of things. Number one, Kenny Atkinson is a coach. How is he going to do coaching this team? Number two, was this the right hire or should they have gone with another candidate? And then number three, what could this mean for the franchise? Pretty much the butterfly effect of Kenny Atkinson being hired. What's going to happen? Is Donovan Mitchell going to come back? Is he going to leave? Is this going to induce Darius Garland being traded? Is this going to induce maybe Jared Allen maybe staying because he, like I said, he has relationships with Kenny Atkinson? But without further ado, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to get straight into this. So if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, as you can see here from this article from ESPN, says here sides are still working on a contract. At the time of recording this, they're still working on the contract of what it's going to be, years, money, etc. A little bit of background of the guy. Says here he was the top assistant for the Warriors, with the Golden State Warriors. He's got some good history. Says here he was also a former head coach of the Brooklyn Nets whenever he was coaching, like I say, Caris LeVert and Jared Allen. Cavs president of basketball operations, Kobe Altman, and general manager, says here they're especially eager for Atkinson's reputable player development program to impact young center Evan Mobley especially. Says here he was 118 and 190 in 3+ years with the new Brooklyn Nets, inheriting a full rebuild and showing improvement each season until he resigned after an injury-plagued 2019-2020 season. That was the year whenever Kyrie and Kevin Durant got there. Their season was not going good. They hired Steve Nash. We all know how that went. Now, when it comes to Kenny Atkinson as the coach, himself, I like the guy. I've kind of seen some interviews with him, kind of the way he talks, things he knows about basketball, and he's a smart dude. He understands the sport, and I think he can bring a lot to the Cavaliers. Now, the whole debate kind of going around now was it James Borrego or Kenny Atkinson, which was the guy that they were kind of leaning toward. Everybody knew it was kind of between those two guys. There was a couple other candidates, like I said, that they were kind of deciding between. I believe the New York Knicks assistant, I forget his name, but they were kind of debating on him. I think James Borrego, he was kind of leaning toward looking around other places, and the Cavs, I guess, maybe said, are you committed to being with us, or do you still want to look around? And I'm wondering if Kenny Atkinson was kind of like in the boat of, I'm committed to you guys. If you want me now, I'm willing to come to you right now. Plus, also, secondary little thing, Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers, was supposed to stay out of the coaching search. Kobe Altman and the general manager, they were supposed to be like the lead guys, kind of deciding who the coach is going to be, and apparently Dan Gilbert got involved. That's kind of the reason why they're going after Kenny Atkinson. If you're not a Cavs fan, you probably don't know this, but in the past, Dan Gilbert has been involved in coaching searches, and he's made some bad coaching hires. This one was one that actually kind of made sense. It's one towards like, if he was involved, I'm going to say this, it was not a bad move. Because it's like, if he was deciding between James Borrego and Kenny Atkinson, and those like the two candidates that also Kobe Altman was kind of deciding between two, it's like, you couldn't go wrong. Now, when it comes to the franchise and what this could mean, I think there's a lot that could go wrong here and a lot that could go right here. Kenny Atkinson brings an interesting style of basketball. I think he's going to be fun to kind of watch. If he's learned under Steve Kerr and what they do, hopefully maybe they can transform Darius Garland into being like another spot-up shooter, maybe like what Klay Thompson and Steph Curry do. Donovan Mitchell can keep on being the superstar talent that he was. And like I said, with what Kenny can kind of bring to Evan Mobley, if he can develop him into being an all-star center, that would be amazing. I think the big thing for the team from what the front office is trying to do is they're trying to bring a coach in here that can look at the core four, like I said, of Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen, and say, can we get you four to buy into my system, and can we go prove everybody wrong next season? Because there's a lot of people out there that are doubting that this team can blossom, this team can be great with the, like I said, with the core four, and then along with like Max Strus, Caris LeVert, and a lot of the other reserve players. I think this team can be very good. I've said it before, I said it again. This team can be very good. They just need to know their roles, stick to their roles, and play in those roles. And there's times where it's like we ask a different player every single night to show up and be the best player possible when we don't ask you to do that. Pretty much it's like with Darius Garland, I almost visualize him just being like a spot-up three-point shooter, crossing people over, getting some assists, and playing his game like that. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, play in the paint, do your thing down there. You don't need to be anywhere else. Evan Mobley, if he's going to be a unicorn, from what everybody's been saying, and he can transform into being like what Victor Wembanyama was this year, oh my god, that'd be great. Max Strus, stay on the three-point line, stay out there, get your shots, and be a great player like what Klay Thompson has been for the past couple years. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Caris LeVert, it's hard to say this, but you kind of have to be like a plan B to what Donovan Mitchell is. Like when Mitchell is on the bench and he's sitting down, you need to be able to come in and kind of pick up that reserve and be what Donovan Mitchell is out there. Like driving to the rack, get mid-range jumpers, maybe a 3 or 2. That's kind of what we ask out of him. Now, like I said with Kenny Atkinson, I like the hire. I think he's going to be a good coach for us. I think he can bring great things to the team. Am I going to miss JB Bickerstaff? Like I said in past videos, whenever I talked about him being fired, I'll put a link up there if you haven't seen that video. I think we're all going to miss JB, but I think it's going to be a good stepping stone, a big stepping stone in the future of just knowing that this team is determined to win. This upcoming season is almost like a last hoorah. We have the core pieces there. Everybody's ready to go win. If we're going to do it, it's got to be this next season. Because a lot of times whenever you see coaches get hired, it's like, oh, it's a rebuild, or all this is going to be the coach of the future. I'm wondering if this team looks at Kenny Atkinson and says, this coach can get us a chip next season if our players do what they're asked to do. And if that's the case, like I said, they got the team. They got the front office doing everything they can to kind of put together a team out there to win. Now you have the coach. Can Kenny Atkinson put together the team and coach them up and give them the right systems, the right flow, the right adjustments to win a championship? It's possible. I'm not going to bet my money on it, but it's possible. To kind of wrap it up, here's my final points. Like I said, was it the right hire? I think so. James Borrego, you can debate on it all you want, but I think Kenny Atkinson was the right hire. Was it the smart move to hire Kenny Atkinson? Yes. Was it the smart move to wait this long? I don't think so. I think if they were 100% confirmed on Kenny Atkinson, from what reports have been kind of coming out saying that they wanted Kenny Atkinson from the beginning, and they just kind of wanted to do like a fielding process, see kind of what the coaches were out there. I understand doing that, but it's like when you have your guy and it's the guy that you want and you've had it from the beginning, don't even play around with your food. Just take the guy that you want. I think the last stepping stone kind of going forward is going to be, number one, we got the draft coming up, kind of see who the Cavs select in that draft. And then number two, is Donovan Mitchell going to come back? Is this the coach that they wanted? Is he going to come back to the Cavs? There's a lot of questions to be asked, but other than that, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, do you agree or disagree with anything I said? Do you like Kenny Atkinson as the head coach? Do you not like Kenny Atkinson as the head coach? Whatever your opinion may be whenever it comes to Kenny, leave a complete opinion down in the comment section down below. Be more welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.